Do you or a loved one have trouble getting food? Do you ever wonder if you are able to receive food stamps? Have you ever tried applying for food stamps but did not know how? My name is Andy Mendez, and I'm the Care Resource Center Assistant Manager. In this video, I will teach you how to apply for food stamps. The first option we'll be looking at is submitting an application online using ePass. The website is epass.nc.gov. First signing into the website, you'll be welcome to ePass. To continue, just hit the continue blue button or click don't show this again if you're just going back into ePass. Once you're on the main page, you will be applying for benefits, or if you already have an account, you can just log in on the top right button. But for now, we're going to apply for benefits for our first time. So click the apply for benefits button under the welcome to ePass. Again, because we are making a new account, we don't have an account, so we will be signing up. In order to use ePass, you must create a North Carolina Identity Management account so that you can log into ePass and submit an application. In this screen, you will click the statement that best describes how you are applying. If you are applying for yourself or a family member, click the first option. If you are assisting someone with applying, click the second option. If you're applying on the behalf of someone else as a representative, click the third option. And if you're applying on behalf of multiple individual households as a representative, you can click the last button. But for today, we're applying just for ourselves. So, create your NCID account. And just hit continue. This is just letting you know that you need an NCID account in order to use ePass and submit an application. What pops up next is a new user registration. Things to include in the information is a desired username for your account, a prefix, your first name, your middle initial if you have one, last name, suffix, an email address that you can have access to, and confirm that email address. You may also want to use a mobile number to receive any information or passwords. And you want to create a new password that you can remember. So please write it down or email it to yourself so that way you do not forget it. That way you can log back into your ePass account. Once you click next, you will be taken to the 6-digit code verification stage. The email address that you provided will receive an email with a 6-digit code. Find the email and the email address you provided from the new North Carolina Identity Management User Verification. Then type the 6-digit code from the email to the white text box that is provided in the new user registration self-service password reset page. Once you click check your code, your NCID account will be confirmed, and then you can proceed to log into your NCID account. If your code is incorrect, please check your 6-digit code again for mistakes or cancel the action and retry making your account with the same information for another code. Now that our NCID account has been verified, we can go ahead and log in. Go back to epass.nc.gov to the home page and look to your top right to log in. Once you click login, you'll be welcomed again by ePass. You can either choose to log in or create a new account, but because we already have created our account, we'll just log in. You will be directed to the NCID login page that will ask you for your username and password. This information was the information that you provided in the new user registration. So go ahead and put in your information. After logging into your NCID account, you will have to set up security questions. These security questions will have to be 5 different questions with answers personal to you. After you do those, you can just hit Save Answers. After setting up your security questions, you will be directed back to the dashboard. If you didn't have the opportunity to set up security questions, there's no concern. You could always go back and put your security questions. Now, on your dashboard, you can directly go ahead and apply for benefits, or you can enhance your ePass account, which will give you more options to manage your account, and it is recommended to enhance your ePass account. Because applying online and enhancing your ePass account requires personal information to continue, we cannot continue the online application. Therefore, I will show you how to apply using the physical application using fake information as an example. You can complete the application at your local county Department of Social Services office, or you can complete your physical application at home and mail it to your local county DSS office. If you would like to know where to find your local county DSS office, you can use the NC Department of Health and Human Services website, which is this link provided to find your local county DSS office. Now we can begin looking at the physical application. The physical application consists of 10 pages. The first page that we will be looking at is page number 1. Page number 1 begins by explaining what are food and nutrition services, how to apply for food and nutrition services, which is covered in this video, as well just as an indicator that a caseworker must interview you or someone you choose to represent you, information about social security numbers, U.S. citizenship and immigration status. For each individual that is applying for food stamps, it is required to provide your social security number and citizenship and immigration status. You do not have to provide your social security number or citizenship and immigration status if you are not applying for food stamps, or for those who are not applying for food stamps in your household. And for those applying for benefits, they must be a United States citizen or an eligible alien and also meet other food and nutrition services rules. And it also asks you, do you need assistance in completing the form? If you need an interpreter to help you apply for food and nutrition services, and if you need someone to apply for or use your food and nutrition services, and they would get their own EBT card or have access to yours. The next page we will be looking at is page 9 of program information. It goes over the rights and responsibilities of an applicant. The first block talks about changes you must report and how to report them. It explains that a change report form is required in order to fill out in the case that there's a change to the household status and to get in contact with your caseworker. The next block talks about social security numbers, which was already mentioned in the previous page, just stating that those who are applying require a social security number. The next block talks about information about U.S. citizenship and immigration status, which was also covered. Again, only those applying are required to have U.S. citizenship or an immigration status of being an eligible alien. Next, it talks about food and nutrition service rules. Those can be read through. Penalties for breaking the rules of the food and nutrition service programs. Examples can include providing false information or even misusing your EBT card. And then information about hearings in case you believe that your case is wrong or there was wrong information. Next, we go to page 10. Page 10 talks about information about work and training rules. If you work or attend training to receive benefits, you will need to follow the rules provided to you. The next block describes that they will check the information that you provide, so please make sure that it is correct. Following, it says that they do obtain data on the information that is provided, that you will not be discriminated against, and it is illegal, and that there's a possibility to be eligible for a local telephone service discount. Now we can begin on page 2. Page 2 begins on, when will I get my food and nutrition services? If you are able to get food and nutrition services, you will get them within 30 calendar days from the date you turn in the application with your name, address, and signature. You may be able to get food and nutrition services within 7 calendar days if you qualify for expedited benefits. Information needs to be provided for expedited benefits. So therefore, you need to provide what is the household's total countable monthly gross income. For example, we put $3,400. What is the total household cash on hand savings? For example, we put $1,000. What is the total monthly shelter cost, rent, or mortgage that the household pays? Example of $1,000. What is the total monthly utility cost, standard utility allowance, basic utility allowance, telephone utility allowance that the household pays? For example, we put $0. And if anyone in the home is a migrant or seasonal farm worker, we put no. But if yes, complete steps A through D. Then, you need to explain who are the people in your household. Again, this includes people that are applying and people who are not applying in your household. For example, the Care Resource Center is an example of the person who is applying today. You explain who they are, their relationship to you, their marital status, their birth date, age, their sex, if they live in a homeless shelter or on the street, they are the ones applying for benefits. If they are, again, they're required to have a social security number, U.S. citizenship status, if they are Hispanic or Latino, and what their race are, which is under here, 1 through 5, and you would just pick which applies to you. And then as an example of one who is not applying, but lives in that household, I included myself. Again, it's the same information, but it is not required to provide your social security number, your U.S. citizenship status, and it is optional because you are not applying for benefits. Now we can move on to page number 3. Page number 3 begins asking questions to identify able-bodied adults without dependents. It asks questions like, are you a resident of the state? The type of living situation that best describes your household? If everyone in your home buys food and cooks meals together? If no, who buys separately? Does anyone in your household have an EBT card? If yes, then who? Does anyone get food nutrition services, food stamps, or SNAP in another county or state? If yes, again, explain who. And if anyone participates in food distribution program on an Indian reservation. Then, does anyone in your household fit a situation below? You look through all the situations below and see if anybody in your household fits them. As an example, paying for food and a place to stay, then that would be someone in my household, and I would include their name there after I click the box. If one of these situations apply to anybody in your household, click the situation and provide the name of the person in your household who matches that situation. Next, we move on to page number 4. Number 4 continues questions about able-bodied adults without dependents. It begins by asking, assets are valuable items that you own, such as cash or bank accounts, and it will help determine if verification is needed and it is accessible to you. This asks if anyone in your household transferred assets in the last 3 months in order to receive food nutrition services. Does your household hold any of these assets listed below? And you just look through the type of assets: cash, checking and or savings account, retirement accounts, mutual funds, prepaid burial contracts, certificates of deposit, stocks or bonds, and other assets not listed. So for example, we put a type of asset of cash, who does it belong to, the Care Resource Center, the value or worth is $1,000, and the business name and account number, we just put a fake account number. What money do people in your household get from work? Does anyone in your household work? Yes. Then we would include who. For example, we put the Care Resource Center. You put the employer, the name, address, and phone number, start date of when they began working, the gross pay before taxes, how often they are paid, the last date they receive pay, the day of the week they receive the pay, the hours they work per week, and days worked per week. And then it will ask if anyone in your household is self-employed. If yes, then you would have to explain who, their start date, their business name, the type of business they have, hours per week, gross monthly income, and monthly expenses. And that completes page 4. Now we'll move to page number 5. Number 5 continues identifying able-bodied adults without dependents. Is anyone getting ready to start a new job? We said no, but if someone is, include that information below. Has anyone stopped working in the past 30 days? We said no, but if you said yes, include the information below. Is anyone a migrant or seasonal farm worker? We said no, but if you say yes, again, provide the information below. Is anyone on strike? If said yes, say who is on strike. And then tell about any volunteer work or participation in a work training program. We said no, but if you have or anybody in your household applies to that situation, then please provide the information. And then, what money does your household get from other sources? If any of these situations apply to your household, make sure to click on them. But because we don't have any situation that applies to us, we just said my household does not get any other money. So we will continue to page number 6. Page number 6 continues asking able-bodied adults without dependents. For all items checked above, complete the below. So again, previously on page number 5, we wanted to know what other money we get. But because we said we don't get any other types of money, we'll leave this blank. But if you did have a situation where you have to get other types of money, make sure to include that information below. Is any of the income listed above child support? We said no. If you have yes, then make sure to put that information. And then we move on to the household bills. For an example, we said rent or mortgage. You put the name, address, phone number to whom you pay the bill, the amount the bill is, how often you pay the bill, and who pays the bill. So for example, we said Care Resource Center pays the bill. They paid on a monthly basis, around $1,000, and then we use our location as an example. And then you would check the boxes next to utility costs your household is responsible for, paying that is paid separate from your rent. So If you paid this separate from your rent, make sure to click any of these situations above. You can also explain how you heat your home, how you cool your home. Other questions include if you were a member of a household that received a low-income energy assistance program and your current address was in the 12 past months, and if you received Section 8 or HUD assistance. We said no to these situations, but if you are in that situation, then click yes. And then, does any agency, organization, or person, including Section 8 outside your household, pay any or your rent or for utilities? We said no, but if they do, again, complete the information below. We'll move on to page number 7 now. Now you include information about your other bills. Do you or anyone in your household pay for child or disabled adult care? We said no, but if you said yes, provide information below. Does any agency, organization, or person outside your household pay any of your child care? We said no, but if you have yes, then make sure to provide the information below. Court-ordered child support? We said no, but if you said yes, make sure to provide the information below. Do you have medical bills for disabled or age 60 or above? We have none in the household, but if you said yes, make sure to look to provide the information below and just read through it. It will provide examples, and if you meet any of those examples, then just provide that information to them. And then we move on to the last page. The last page is the signature page. By signing this application, you are indicating that you are providing correct information to your knowledge as much as possible, and you're not intentionally providing false information. You provide your signature and the date signed of that signature. And furthermore, as a side bit, voter registration if you would like to be registered to vote. And it's your opinion, it's your option, but you can choose yes or no. And if you had a witness, you can also provide a witness signature as well. And then the rest of the information will be provided by your local DSS office.